Da, 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 da. It's the Going On podcast with Rap Critic and Muse.
Holy moly, it's the big homies, RC and Muse,
What?
back again.
What's going on?
What's going on?
Snoop Dogg did a theme song remix for Cody Rhodes, who just put in his thing that he would be leaving AEW this week. Not exactly a topic for us to discuss, but it happened this week, so it's bound to be mentioned at least. He had a theme song by the, I guess, hard rock band Downstate, but there was a remix for a short period of time because Snoop Dogg came in to AEW, and he was there for a couple weeks, and he did possibly the worst splash off a top rope onto a wrestler you've ever seen. The first verse goes, "Holy moly, walking up in this slowly. It's the one and only, yep, the big homie."
Oh man, you said it best when you said that like Snoop Dogg is the best worst rapper.
He really, holy moly.
Only he could sell
Holy
that.
moly.
But as soon as you hear it though,
It's the
you think,
big
like,
homie.
Only he could do that with the coolness of his like chill as a caterpillar like voice, you know. Holy moly, it's the big homie. Like no
It
other
works
rapper.
for him.
Yeah, he sneaks into the beat, you know, like
Yeah.
with his voice, you know, like.
It couldn't work for anyone else.
Yeah,
but
you can't. Dr. Dre can't be like, holy moly, it's the, you know.
No. You know, Eminem definitely could not.
Holy moly, it's the big.
Eminem would be blasted if he ever said holy moly. I know I would anyway. I would never let him live it down. But talking about Snoop, because the Grammys have been indefinitely preempted this year, I guess you could say the Super Bowl halftime show, music's biggest night,
Yeah.
RC.
Oh.
And the stars are out
Wait,
tonight.
I thought you were gonna do it by like, you know, cleverly, very blatantly omitting the word Super Bowl, because can't we not say Super Bowl or some shit? You have to be the big game. The big game. It's the Rap Critic and Muse big game. Spectacular.
As far as I'm concerned, it already happened. But something I did find out just yesterday inadvertently. Everyone knows the NFL, but only the truest, hardcorest, fanciest, pansiest football fans are aware of the XFL and its strong lineage. I was looking up what their equivalent of the big game was called, because I was curious as to who the season winner was in 2001. And eventually they called it the $1 million championship game.
As soon as they started saying that, I was like, that's not gonna catch on. That doesn't. The $1 million.
I'll do you one better here in a second, but what's great about the $1 million championship game is that the $1 million are awarded to the winning team, and it's split between the players.
There's at least like 10 players on any team.
There are 38 players on an XFL team, which means the winners from the Los Angeles Extreme walked away with a cold $26,000 each.
They might as well just get a job flipping burgers.
Not playing in the XFL, who prided themselves on being harder hitting.
Harder hitting to your checkbook.
Like way more life-threatening and injury-prone.
What was this fucking football on trampolines and shit where it's like you got...
Oh, you're thinking of, oh god, what was that called? The basketball.
Yeah, I remember watching that shit. Wasn't it on Man TV or Dude
It was on
TV?
Spike or something.
TV, yeah. Or the first television channel for dudes aged specifically between 14 and 17.
But what I was going to mention was the original name for the big game at the end of the season.
What?
The game at the end of the season.
Oh wow, they really kept the writers up that night, huh?
Yeah. But this year, NFL, hip-hop on the world's
That's
grandest
right.
stage.
Look at that.
And, man, coming out, representing, we've got top names.
The West Coast is out.
Yes, absolutely. And the Midwest is represented also with the token white rapper. But we'll get to him. We got Dr. Dre, we got Snoop Dogg, we got Mary J. Blige, we got 50 Cent, and we got Kendrick. This was phenomenal.
Throwing a big ass W up over the fucking Super Bowl event.
This is definitely, at the very least, before we even talk about the performance, the most interesting setup.
Yeah, the way it started
actual
with
stage.
Like, yeah, because I was trying to figure out, it's like, wait, is this the pre-programmed part? And there's like, oh, this is happening right now.
When it was showing that video of Dr. Dre and he like had the like skyline in his hand,
yeah,
and whatever, like fucking Thanos, like, oh, what's this?
The city is mine. I got the city in my palm.
And then it transitioned to him like behind the production desk, and it was raising, and that at that moment I didn't realize that was live.
Yeah.
I thought that was still part of the video. It was like when you're playing a video game and you don't realize when the cutscene is over.
Yeah, because the graphics are
like, oh fuck, like, I'm playing.
Yeah. Oh, did you notice that one thing where he kept like trying to lift up the right like flap of his jacket? Did you notice that?
No.
It was the one thing that kept throwing me off. That kept like, that was the first clue that hinted to me that this was live, because my brain kept going like, wait, why is he doing it like that? Because I thought he was doing it like, that's sort of like a maestro with the chair, like, flapping up his thing. But he kept like, or either I thought he was either trying to like flap it up like that, or he was trying to like pull out a cell phone, and maybe he was going to be like, coming in, come in, Interscope crew, some shit like that. But no, he just kind of kept like trying to do it, and then he just kind of like stopped. And I was like, what was that?
We start off with Dr. Dre and Snoop.
That's right. Snoop Dogg looking fucking no older than 1999 at the oldest.
Dre was looking phenomenal too. Yeah. I gotta give it up to everybody. Everybody looked really good.
Everyone was very well conditioned.
When fucking Dre calls out, I don't know how far apart they were, because they were on like opposite sides of this gigantic set, but the way it cut between them made it look like they were way closer. When Dre first calls out, it's the one and only it reminded me of the Paul Rudd.
Hey, look at us. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
Their fucking smile, like, can you fucking believe that we're performing this song at the fucking Super Bowl? What are we even fucking doing here?
3 decades deep. I did want to point out that it was pretty fucking cool that the city, like, the map that they use, like, is the city of Compton. And so, like,
yeah, like giant rug.
Yeah, and they have, like, huge, like, spaces, huge, like, white, sort of, that look like huge Barbie doll sets, actually, that are, like, homages. Like, don't they look like, avant-garde Barbie doll sets, because someone actually made a meme where they put, like, Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and Eminem in there. And, there was another one that someone made where it was, like, Snoop Dogg's, outfit looked like the magic carpet from Aladdin. That was another good meme.
Oh shit, no, I didn't see that.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. They're just like, the set is all of these references to, things around, Compton and adjacent, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that was really fucking cool. Just like, as you're looking at it, like, oh, hey, that's a specific thing. Like, like that's calling to something. Yeah.
Snoop walks down the staircase as he's rapping, and he's walking through these different set pieces, and shout out to the 3 fat cheerleaders they actually featured. I saw people calling them out and just being like, hey, fucking look at that shit. That's dope.
Yeah, like it's no big deal, yeah.
They're on screen for like a second, though. It's like you see them in the background of shots, but they are not featured very prevalently. Then you get to the room where Snoop is standing in front of these like 3 picture frames.
Oh, yeah.
One... Was that him and his mom in the one?
The one I mainly remember is the one with Snoop Dogg, where in the What's My Name video where he's slowly morphing into the dog. I loved that so much.
I was showing Neb that because I loved that shot, and I loved that was there, just like that's hanging up on the wall like it's just happening in real time.
Yeah, like, that's purposeful. Yeah, like
I pulled it up. I just searched Snoop Doberman. And it was the first video. It was like a 5-second thing. It was a loop of it. And the top comment made me laugh so hard. It was just someone saying, how did he do that? Don't fucking ask him how he does it. You don't ask a bird how it flies or a fish how it swims.
Oh, and then 50 Cent shows up upside down, like in the club video, you know. Oh, and they like kind of point everyone down, like, because the camera goes down as they're like bowing. They're like, yeah, and then it's like, oh,
that was
shit.
cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Because they do that later for Mary too. Like, I think like 50 like looks up, like, who's up there now?
Yeah.
So he does in the club, which, I mean, all right.
It's all right. Then Mary...
I was never the biggest 50 fan, so I was like... Did you notice, by the way, at the end of the performance, it has, like, the image, and it's like, hey, here are your performers, and they didn't put 50 in there.
Wait, when?
At the very end of it, it's like...
I guess because he was so, like, you know, in such a small part, like... Because he only really had one song.
he did so much of that song! I imagine if anyone was going to be the surprise, it would be Eminem.
Yeah.
The set fucking exploded to reveal him,
awesome.
So...
Before him...
We can't skip over Mary.
Yeah, Mary J. Blige, who was fucking incredible. I think she the only singer? Really represented, because she's like the hip-hop singer, you know.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
And she was...
And it was from like that same, like... 2000s time period, too.
It was the time when Dr. Dre was producing for her. Because those were the... let's get it crunk up on in this dancery. In this dancery. Only if you're like that, like, you know, cool and well-respected as she is, as the fucking hip-hop auntie, especially as it's been as established now. Like, can you just make up a word fucking dancery?
And Snoop's up there saying, holy moly, it's the big homie.
But yeah, she's so incredible. I just want to just sing her praises just for an extra second, just because it's like, you just hear her singing, and she's so, like, in control of her voice and the you know, the fucking legato of the line and the fucking the vibrato of the shit. Like, you can hear just how good she is and how in control she is, and still is having fun and being a personality up there. It was like really fucking cool. It was one of those things where you're like, wait, more. I want to go to Mary J. Blige show now, you know, like, what was the other song that she did? No More Drama. Oh, one of the songs I used to fucking love back in the day. That music video was so, like, oh man, it was the height of like, this isn't a music video, this is real, you know, like, the sound was really good. Did you notice that? Like, I feel like we've been talking about a lot of, you know, live shows recently, and I feel like we've had that complaint where it's just be like, what the fuck is going on here? I think it was last year at the Grammy, because we talked about it with Tyler, the Creator's performance, where it's just like, I can't fucking hear this as well. What the fuck is going on? Like, mic these people. Are you not the professionals? But this actually sounded like they put in the fucking big bucks to make it sound like, oh yeah, we could have sold these songs, these versions, on Spotify the next day or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, it sounded really good, because she's a little bit, I think maybe like, not under voice, but like maybe sing it like, maybe like a fifth down, but she's still very strong in it. Just, you know, probably just because like, you know, this performance, it's fucking wintertime, you know what I mean, outside.
They're using that Dre audio.
Yeah, oh, exactly. Yeah. After that is...
Kendrick.
Oh, she falls out. I love the way she fucking falls out.
Oh yeah, she like takes a fucking bump onto her back. Yeah,
awesome.
What the fuck?
Oh, and then Kendrick shows up, and it's like these boxes where you can't really tell like what's in it because it's slowly zooming in. Because you go from like the blinding whiteness of where Mary J. Blige is on the stage, to just like the darkness of this part, and like you're, you know, looking around trying to see like what, you know, what it looks like little houses all around, and then you're like, wait, what are these boxes? What's sticking out of them? And then it, you know, has that thing where it's like a bunch of dudes rising up, specifically with blonde hair.
The boxes say Dre Day on them, and they all have Dre Day sashes.
Yeah.
On.
But I'm like, what is the Guy Fieri hair about?
I don't know.
But yeah, Kendrick Lamar comes out singing his censored version of what is it? Either Good Kid or Mad City. Man down, where you from? Where you know where you from? Like, this is where your grandmama stay, huh?
It was pointed out that because from there, Kendrick goes into All Right, which, first of all, I'm just surprised he did All Right, because that is such a heated track. We don't get the Hate Popo, unfortunately.
Oh my god, yeah, the way that was...
And we ate.
Just left hanging out there. It's like,
we blindly hate you guys.
We do get a
Still not loving police.
from Dre later. So it's like, all right, maybe they slipped that past him. I don't know.
Oh, was that
something.
was that another one of those things? They're like, hey, performers, don't do this. And then they did it anyway, and then the NFL people were like, oh shit, they did it. Well, god damn it. Well, we were fine with it the whole time.
Kendrick, with this really cool transition to the sample of Eminem on Forgot About Dre.
Oh, man.
Before the side of the fucking set just explodes.
Yeah.
And Eminem is standing there. And he does, of course, his biggest fucking hit, I would imagine.
The song for all the gym rats out there, like, and that song is evergreen. Yeah. I'm sorry, like, as soon as it came out, I was just like, I went back to being like fucking 11 years old again with the fucking, I remember my mom calling me into the back room where the computer was for the fucking trailer for the new 8 Mile movie with Eminem. And I'm like, oh shit, and there's a music video, what? And we all watched it. You better lose yourself in the oh man, holy shit, man, it brought me back. I can't lie to you.
See, I'm still on team. It's never been my favorite.
It's the respectable hit. He's not gonna play, role model, like.
Whatever you say I am. He's gonna be just falling from that exploding building. Because I saw someone tweet, man, can you believe it? Hip hop at the Super Bowl, and they were like, didn't the Black Eyed Peas do a halftime show? And I was like, that don't count. I'm sorry. Especially
half electro, half fucking pop,
and that killed the Black Eyed Peas almost.
Yeah,
like,
I remember.
It was one of the worst performances, and they were so like they want to forget about it, so they don't want anybody reminding anybody about that shit ever fucking happened. Yeah, I can't think. I know they've had rappers at the show since.
Yeah, Kid Rock, huh?
When was that the 2001 one where like everybody was fucking there?
I think it was a little after that, because I think
it was like Britney Spears, NSYNC, Aerosmith.
Yeah. And I remember somebody brought up that going into the history of it, that it was like Michael Jackson that actually made like the Super Bowl like a thing that anyone even cared about. With like,
have you watched that recently?
What? Michael Jackson?
The Michael Jackson Super Bowl halftime show?
No, I haven't. Why? Does it not hold up?
Well, I mean, it's okay. But the beginning of it is the best part. There's these screens on the corners of the stadium, like at the very top of the stadium, so it's in the fucking sky. And you see Michael Jackson is on the screen, and he does his, like, kick-out dance move, and then he, like, puts his arms to his side, and he shoots upward, and he pops out of the screen! And now he's on top of the screen, and he dances a little bit. And then the camera pans over to the other side of the stadium. And there's Michael Jackson, again, on that screen now. And he does a little dance move. And then he pops out of the screen, and he's dancing on top of that screen. And then the camera goes back to the middle of the field. And there's just the stage. And the performers are sitting there. And this puff of smoke comes out of the middle of the stage, and Michael Jackson jumps out of the fucking stage, and he just stands there like, what?
Wait,
yeah, I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere at once. There's three of me, and I'm just gonna...
What in the world? Wait, at the same time? What's going on?
And he just stands there, seriously, for like 2 minutes. He just stands there like the fucking history statue, staring. Not doing anything, just looking off.
The fucking audience is still fucking marking out.
The crowd is going apeshit! You kidding me? He's like The Rock in 99. He doesn't even need to say anything. And the crowd are losing their minds.
Just cut that figure, you know?
Of course, because it is around that time, you have to have the fucking... Like this year's Super Bowl, where when Eminem does Lose Yourself and all the people fucking rush the stage. And Michael Jackson's one, unfortunately, a bunch of kids rushed the stage, because, you know.
Yeah.
And they're just screaming, and he's just standing there, and he's just looking with his sunglasses, and he ain't doing shit. And this one guitar player who is, like, the main guitarist for, like, Bad and Dangerous, the big fuck white hair, she's shredding for a few seconds, and then it goes into Billie Jean, and he throws his hat, and he kicks his leg out, and the fucking crowd erupts. After that, though, he does, like, Heal the World, and it's like,
Yeah, but...
it's still 90s, you know? It's still 93.
Like, everyone get a colored plate, and we're gonna turn it around, and it's gonna reveal something nice, and we're gonna light a thing.
Yeah, it's not the best set list. It's not what I would have went with.
Sure, but early 90s, oh my god, I just saw the guitar. I just decided to look and check the thing, and it just is incredible, as my co-host Muse had talked about.
It's such a spectacle, holy, and that's the first time, like...
And the way he pops up like fucking Spider-Man.
Boom.
God damn!
It's so cool! What the fuck?
But I just saw, like, right to the right of him, after the pop-up it zooms in, and you see this one, like, guitar player, and it's like, it looks so early 90s, the fucking puffed up white hair that he has.
Fuck yeah. She's just shredding.
I was like, what in the world? Like, it looks like fucking Bride of fucking Frankenstein fake stuff is, like, holding up the hair or something like that.
It's still holdover 80s, for
like,
sure.
Oh my lord. Like, yeah, we are definitely in the early part of the 90s. Yeah, like, hair metal is still holding on.
So it starts with Jam.
Oh, okay. See, that's what
from Dangerous.
That's what I used to like in this 93. So yeah, that's around the time he put out the music video with I remember that being iconic because the two MJs, they're hanging out and they're talking.
And now they're on the screens.
Yeah, it ain't too hard for them to jam.
It goes from Jam to Billie Jean to Black or White. Then We Are the World Children's Choir. And then he ends with Heal the World.
Oh, wow. Back to back, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does say, though, after the last Super Bowl, where a special episode of In Living Color by future NFL broadcaster Fox aired during the halftime show, they followed it up the next year with the Michael Jackson performance. Did you ever hear about that? That the Men on Film did a skit about football, and like, I don't know who got mad at it, but they were just like, we don't want that gay shit.
Wow. Isn't that so funny? It
had them in like the half, like Billy shirt jerseys.
Yeah, with the football hats, because they had the little hats.
Little sideways hats. Yes. Yeah. If it wasn't for that, we might not have got the Michael Jackson performance. It says,
what?
After the In Living Color broadcast during the Super Bowl, is that it attracted viewers away from the Super Bowl telecast, with viewership falling by 22% over halftime. The NFL began the process of heightening the profile of the halftime show in an effort to attract mainstream viewers.
Wait. Are you telling me that In Living Color is the reason why Michael Jackson went on to the Super Bowl?
Indirectly, yeah. Mm-hmm. If In Living Color didn't have such great fuck ratings, because up until that point, the fucking thing was like marching bands and
that's what someone had brought up. Yeah, because
boring shit.
I think The Simpsons had brought up because I was listening to a podcast about
with people.
Yeah, hooray for everyone or some dumb shit like that.
Yeah,
and
it's
when
all
you look into it, it's actually
corny.
like a weird cult or something.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it. Yeah.
Like you could tell like the fucking budget for the entertainment, they were just going for like whatever, just something, and they didn't think anyone would care, and like whatever, here's a group, they'll do it for the cheap because they're trying to spread their fucking message.
The previous halftime show that has its own Wikipedia article was in 1989. It was entitled Bebop Bamboozled in 3D. Featured a 1950s theme, an Elvis impersonator, 3D effects, and a magic trick.
In front of like a stadium of like millions of people like 2 miles away.
Oh my, okay. Holy shit, this is worse when they fucking spell it out. The show began with a pre-taped introduction by Bob Costas, followed by a 3D Diet Coke commercial. Okay.
Oh, Lord. I want to see the fucking stupid-ass fucking PlayStation character. Who's that fucking PlayStation character who was supposed to be the spokesman
Crash
for PlayStation?
Bandicoot.
No. The purple-faced guy that looks awful that they tried to make as the final boss in the Super PlayStation All-Star game that flopped because they were trying to make it like Super Smash Brothers like 2 decades too late.
Then it says, the show began with Elvis Presto.
Oh, my Lord.
An Elvis Presley impersonator. The performer...
Isn't it an Elvis Presley impersonator who is also a magician? Is that what's happening?
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
The performance's MC appearing from inside a jukebox. Various songs were performed. They're not listed. Among the stunts in the show was the appearance of dancers defying gravity by leaning horizontally against parking meters, RC.
Wow. Really bending the imagination.
3D visual graphics were incorporated into the broadcast. Finally, a card trick.
A card trick!
Presto! Presto!
Can I get thrown for the audience?
This gets better. This sentence gets better as it goes. Presto urged the stadium audience to pick one of 4 cards.
Stop it.
And an applause meter indicated which card the audience had chosen.
That is the stupidest waste of technology.
Various outlets have retrospectively ranked the show amongst the worst halftime performances.
No doubt.
But yeah, it goes from 89 to 93. And then it goes from 93 to 96. So did nothing happen between 93 and 96?
It might have just been like a band,
Because from there, it went from Michael Jackson in 93 to Diana Ross in 96.
Oh,
so that's pretty dope. I would be remiss to not talk about the 1997 one, because this is incredible. The show was titled Blues Brothers Bash.
Go get out of here.
And featured actors Dan Aykroyd, John Goodman, and Jim Belushi as the Blues Brothers.
No.
The show highlighted blues music, but also had performances by ZZ Top and James Brown.
Hey guys, come out and see Blues Brothers 2000. We're still in production, but...
Yeah, we'll be out for another 3 years, but trust us on this one. And then the next one was Boyz II Men, Smokey Robinson, Queen Latifah, Martha Reeves, and The Temptations, in a tribute to Motown's 40th anniversary. That sounds dope. I was originally trying to look up when Kid Rock. That's what made me look this up. Because you said fucking...
I'm throwing for 2006.
2006?
Yeah.
That's way too late.
Of course, because it's the Super Bowl. Of course it's way too late.
2001 was Aerosmith, NSYNC, Mary J. Blige, Britney Spears, Nelly. Okay, so that's pretty stacked. Next year was U2. That's when they did the fucking 9/11 in memoriam. Shania Twain, No Doubt, and Sting were 2003.
Okay.
Janet Jackson. Oh, that's right.
Oh,
okay.
Hey, I'm doing a black creator, the content creator, whatever spotlight thing, whatever. I'm dismissing it as I'm saying it, but black content creator spotlight where I promote black videos for February. And yeah, someone had recently, Calvin Michaels, did a video on the Janet Jackson whole debacle that you guys should definitely check out, where they dip into the intricacies of that whole situation.
So here are all the performers that were on that halftime show. Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake, P. Diddy, Nelly again.
Oh, wow. 2 for 2.
There's your boy, Kid Rock.
Wow, this was 2004.
2000, yeah. And pulling up the rear, Jessica Simpson. Everybody was there. Who fucking didn't perform? Holy shit.
Was the nipple thing the last thing that happened, or was it that happened and then let's smash cut to Jessica Simpson singing I'm glad that I can be me with you.
The performance was preceded by a video montage encouraging people to vote, including Beyonce, Tony Hawk, Jennifer Lopez, Elijah Wood, Chris Rock, Julia Roberts, Muhammad Ali, Jay-Z, and Tom Cruise.
I think I remember that. I was just thinking of I thought you said after. So I just love the idea of naked by the end of this song. Oh my god, go to commercial. Go vote, everyone.
You gotta vote.
You let your opinion be heard. You gotta make a choice. Because if you don't vote, you won't have a fucking voice. There's something. After I slit your throat, you won't have a fucking voice. Yeah, that's what I'm
Then Janet opens it up with All For You.
Ah, classic.
And then a whole bunch of bullshit. Fucking...
Yeah, sure.
You got Ba with a Ba and Cowboy.
Oh, wow.
Which is sick. Wearing an American flag poncho.
Yep.
Holy shit, Kid Rock. You know that's like...
Right? All these...
not supposed to be done or some shit? You're not supposed to wear the flag as a garment? Anyway.
Yeah, it's not like patriotic or something.
Janet then took the stage, performing Rhythm Nation. Then everything went to shit. And you know the rest of the story.
And now you know the other...
Oh my... Kid Rock received criticism from veterans of foreign wars and Senator Zell Miller for wearing the American flag as a poncho. Holy shit! I was joking.
Yeah, like...
I was just being facetious. I'm glad they actually called us out. That's hilarious.
Like, it's about as much of, like, a bad thing as, like, I don't know, burning the American flag, I guess. But, like, if you, as Kid Rock, are going to be a person who's, like, all about America, it's like, yeah, that would not be respecting it, because it's rubbing up against your fucking, you know, asshole and shit. I just wanted to randomly bring up Eminem, you know, doing the fucking thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, of course, he does the...
Oh, we didn't talk about him kneeling.
Yeah, kneeling. But then, just, you look to the right, fucking Anderson .Paak was playing the fucking drums the whole time.
Yeah, what the fuck? Oh my god, I didn't even forget. I forgot to mention Anderson. Yeah, he was having the fucking time of his life. He was going nuts over there.
I'm just happy to be part of the moment.
There was so much shit. I don't know who any of the other backing performers were, unfortunately, but I was just happy to see Anderson there getting his fucking time to shine. Yeah, Eminem kneeled. Apparently he was told not to, and he did it anyway. And that's probably one of the coolest things he could have done, because I think anybody else would have gotten in some serious trouble, but because he's the one white guy, he can get away with it.
Tactically using his whiteness, you know, like you gotta give up to that,
using your white privilege in a creative way, for sure.
Oh my god, I just saw one last thing where I was just looking at the very end where they're all like, you know, bowing and like standing there. Like, and Eminem, I think he's like exceptionally kind of like tall, right? And Kendrick Lamar is like kind of short, but like, and I think he's a little bit further back on the stage, but he just looks like really short as I looked at it.
Oh,
like,
no.
I just noticed in the moment, I was just like, oh man, this placement looks awkward.
And meanwhile, fucking 50 gets left out of the graphic. You'd think it'd be Kendrick because he's just so small.
Like, no, I was there. They didn't focus the camera. They didn't zoom out the camera wide enough to get me.
Super Bowl halftime show? I was in the back.
Ah, no.
Where was Bizarre?
He was in the back.
Next year. Get him on next year's. Bizarre. We need all D12.
Lord. Let him do a fucking skit that's not funny about how he dog farts or something like that.
I bet you make bacon so the grease will pop you. Where'd you get that one?
I bet you adopt dogs just so you can feed them 3 times a day.
I bet you breed hound dogs.
Like, huh?
Where'd you get that one?
Where'd you get that hat?
Fucking, where'd you hear that one? He's just like, alright, I'll call you tomorrow.
Call you for tomorrow's next big inspiration. He's alright, I'm gonna go back to sleep and then dream about the next thing to say to you. That's all I do with my life.
It's been years since we fucking reviewed the goddamn Bizarre album. That fucking skit.
People just joining us and like, what the fuck is going on?
This skit will live with me forever.
Fat Father.
Please look up Fat Father from Bizarre's Handicap Circus skit. Oh my god. It's so pointless. I mean, the whole album is so worthless. But that skit in particular is like, what the fuck is this doing here? So this week on Going Off, we got 2 album requests. You know the deal. And we're going to start with Sinner Get Ready, requested by Wrist of Kings. So we're not going to harp on it too much here, but I feel like we need to go inside baseball here. A few months ago, we got a request. Well, we got the request a really long time ago from Wrist of Kings for the Daughters album. And in that time, since we got the request, Lingua issued a very lengthy statement with accusations of very grisly abuse details from the vocalist from Daughters, Wrist of Kings thought it made sense to have us review her newest album. I guess her dealing with those emotions and the trauma here as a way of, I guess as a make good for having us review the Daughters album. Because the comments were like, really love this album. I'm also really glad you made the warning about that. Because I didn't even know about that until after we recorded the episode. There's a lot of religious allusions and
didn't that
imagery
happen with,
there.
Like, at least 2 other albums we've listened to recently.
Were there?
Yeah, because it was the one with the picture of the couple from the 70s that we listened to.
Sufjan Stevens.
Yeah, it was like basically.
That's right. Yeah, there was a lot of religion on that one. That's right.
It was like how
fucking Carrie and Lowell.
Yeah. Like, how big is our donating audience in terms of like Christian representation here? This is interesting.
And it's not exactly spiritual people. It's just the music is.
Yeah, and that's what I can appreciate, right? When it's like really trying to engage with real emotion, right? Like that's what I can really dig from that. I mean, going back, I feel like that's what it really was, like all the way back in the days with like classical composers and shit, where it's just like, a lot of motherfuckers, they were making music because they were getting paid by the church, not because, they really, really wanted to spread the word of Christ or whatever in their music,
right.
But it's like, hey, as long as I'm here, I'm going to be an artist about this shit and really imbue this with, text painting that really, makes you feel like the art of what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And like really, oh man, I used to have a conductor teacher who basically like helped me appreciate, music of shit like oratorio and stuff like that, and how the music was like trying to take you on that visual journey of what was going on through the text and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, there's the artistry on every level. It doesn't necessarily have to be, someone who's a Christian or even like, they can be someone who's like, I'm just, questioning my faith, but this ain't some shit you'd hear on the radio. This shit I would fucking love to hear on Christian radio station.
Oh God. And well, it's funny because
like there are some lyrics that are like that, you can kind of.
Oh, for sure. I watched Fantano's interview with Lingua to get some background on this because I was curious about the assault allegations and I wanted more information on that, but I was also curious about the religious references and all of this.
Because it was slowly dawning on me where I'm just like, wait. Like by the time you get to like track 3 or 4, when you're hearing like you're hearing curse words where it's just like kill him, fuck him up and all this sort of shit. But then it's also specifically about like a crucifixion and shit. And you're like, what's going on? There's been like 3 single songs in a row mentioning crucifixion. Like what's happening?
And there's a theme also of the audio samples on the album.
Oh God. Man, are we gonna get into that?
They all bring up different, like, criticisms of religion in different forms.
Oh, it was so spicy. Like, oh man. And when we get to the last one, oof. That was the gut punch, but...
Starting out with the Order of Spiritual Virgins.
Oh my lord.
We got this wavering, monotone hum that starts.
This drone, yeah.
And just like pretty simple piano. And then we get this wailing, warning opening verse. It says, hide your children, hide your husbands, hide your children, hide your husbands. I am relentless. I am incessant. I am the ocean. And who all dare look upon me swear eternal devotion.
The way that you fucking said
I can't deliver it
like a fucking...
the way it is on the album.
It straight up sounds like a goddess, like, slowly turning her gaze to you, and you're seeing, like, this huge face, and then, like, you're having that moment of, like... I love you, I'll do whatever. Like, you can hear it in her, like, the power of her voice, like, illuminating, like, that image of this woman so beautiful that, like, all fall down and weep. And it's like, it's not even taken as, like, a brag. It's just like, this is what her life is, like.
And as the song goes, the vocals get more pained, strained, they're cracking. right when it feels like it's gonna explode, it does with just these loud, clanging piano, cymbals,
oh man,
bass hits. It's just in your fucking face.
And the thing about it is, it's like, yeah, like I said, it goes from, because like it hits the middle part where you hear this, insane next level Gregorian chant, and you hear this almost Egyptian sounding bending piano chords kind of playing in the middle as you're hearing the like hissing drone in the synth, and I'm thinking like a cello or something like that, and then all of a sudden, you hear the vang, and it's like, the thing is, the drone that's happening is so like weirdly like hypnotizing, like you want it to continue. Yeah. It's so weirdly soothing and enchanting, and so like you're like really wanting it to continue, and so every time you hear that vang, and like you fucking dread it, like you're just like, the first time it happens, you're like, oh my god.
It's so shocking. Yeah.
And so then when it like, it's not like the first time it repeats is the most like, it hits you 2 times really that hard when you know it's going to keep happening, where you're just like, ah! It's like, no, please stop.
And this is where we get the first vocal sample, and it's a contestant on a History Channel reality show, survival reality show.
I love it.
Called Alone. And he's talking about hearing certain music reminds him of his mother that passed. In the dead silence, you can hear your departed mother sing a hymn in church from 30 years ago. That's what you get out of the silence. And then he's just humming, and it's just so sad.
It's like haunting. Yeah, because it's one of those things where it feels like it's just like freeform, just sort of talking at a certain point, because you're trying to catch what he's saying and where it's going, and it's just so in the mix of what's happening in the music, and you're just like, what in the hell? Like, I thought it was from some sort of horror, another History Channel show where it's just like, ghosts that I saw one time because when it was dark, and
that's my favorite. Ghosts I saw that one time when it was dark.
And then it was a windy night, and the wind...
Only tangentially related, because we're talking about reality shows. I wanted to bring this up, and I don't want to take too much time away from the album review, but I got to thinking, Todrick Hall is on this season of Celebrity Big Brother. So he's in the Big Brother house right now, right?
Oh man, that's not a great place in terms of celebrities being in this grand scope of their careers. No,
and this is the thing. He's in the house with, like, Chris Kattan and shit.
Oh, no.
We just saw Todrick was doing TikTok ads for the new flip phone, right? And in the newest Just Dance, you ever see gameplay footage of Just Dance?
Oh,
with the bottom of the screen, there's, like, cartoon people dancing and you follow them?
Sure. Did it with my family.
With Todrick's song, he's in it. You see him. He's dancing. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, why would you, as someone who is clearly on the upward trajectory, be put into the Big Brother house where now everybody on Twitter is criticizing you when you're trying to win this reality show and you're actively turning away potential listeners of your music that you're probably still working on. It seems like such a career sabotage. I don't understand why you would do that. But anyway, getting back to the album, because if you thought the first track was good, goddamn, like,
strap in.
This fucking album has so many surprises for you. This whole fucking part, gather up my quiet hammer and nail him down. Use all of your heavenly means, your golden scythe, your holy sword, your fiery arrows studded with stars. I don't give a fuck. Just kill him. You have to. I'm not asking.
Oh, the way she fucking says, like, take hold of my gentle axe and split him open. Like, it sounds like her voice is splitting as she goddamn says it. Like, it's so insane.
I've never heard a delivery more powerful than I have on this. This is by far the most, like, emotional, gut-wrenching delivery I've heard on an album we've listened to for the show. You feel every bit of her fucking anger and rage. It comes across so fucking well, and the instrumentals are usually so sparse, but they fit so well. It's usually just like at the bass level, you got like a piano, a bowed banjo, so you got a banjo being played like a fucking like fiddle. There's a fucking track later, I forget which one it is, melodica being played, and castanets just kind of clicking in the background. It's Man is Like a Spring Flower. There's just this weird little instrumental break, and it's so like you hear all these different like colorful instruments that you haven't heard up to this point. There's just like, whoa. Like in Many Hands, there's a part towards the end where you just hear wood sticks just being like rattling. And to me, it sounded like skittering bugs. It was so like, ugh.
Listening to that song, it's the beat sounded like a bunch of sharp, serrated objects and like coiled, coils with like, the sharp edges on each side. When those metal coils and they have like the sharp edges, like it felt like that was springing around in a room of a bunch of sharp, serrated objects. You know what I mean? Like that's what this beat sounded like. We're just like, you're just hearing this coil flailing around and water pouring at one point. Like it's so weird and trippy as you're saying the lyrics about like, the Lord spat and held me by my neck. I would die for you. I would die for you. He wept. Like, oh my Lord. And I just want to go back to the Who Bends the Tall Grass, just to point out, like, because originally I'm listening to it, like, I didn't know what the song was about, just hearing it. And like in the real time, it sounded like, what it sounded like to me was it sounded like a man in the crowd, during Jesus's trial or what have you, begging for Jesus's death. One of the people in the crowd going like, "Fuck him," like like showing that crowd, mentality. But then like someone had pointed out like, oh, it's actually about like an abusive relationship and wishing that God would like do something to get this person. Like, and I was like, holy shit! Like, and the fact that like both like the lyric fits in both like interpretations is so fucking masterful.
Something that Lingua brought up in the Fantano interview that really makes a listen like this so much more interesting is that goal one for her is to have her music be ambiguous. You could take it either way, and that's cool. Like, it's not supposed to be taken any one way. It's going to be impossible to now talk about Repent Now, Confess Now without the discussion of the assault. The lines about... he took my legs. The track mentions Hader's spinal surgery, which he underwent after severe spinal trauma. This one is the most direct references to the assault. And by this point, you're already like, I'm hanging on every fucking word. Like, get it all out. I don't even know what there really is to be said about this album too much. It's like, I think it's an album that really does speak for itself in a lot of ways. Something we can comment on with the Sacred Liniment of Judgment. The Jimmy Swaggart sample at the end, where this piece of shit is just begging for forgiveness.
Like, I was like, so what was it for? Like, what did he do? What did he get caught for? Like, what did this bastard do? And I looked and it was like, losing his international TV ministry after encounters with prostitutes in his cut into his audience. Nowadays, like, I guess if there was like a cooler interpretation, maybe we could break the stigma, where it's just like, this person is a sex worker, it shouldn't matter, these are two consenting adults, at least he's not a fucking 13-year-old.
It's the fact that he was cheating on his wife, I guess,
that's the thing that really matters. Yeah, because what it becomes at the end of the day is like, you're a holy man.
If he wasn't married, it probably wouldn't have mattered as much.
That's really the thing, yeah. It's like, you're supposed to be this man of God who's pious, but like, look at you, yeah, like, and you did it twice, which means you did it more than twice. That's just when you got caught.
And we get it again on Man as a Spring Flower that I mentioned earlier. In this one, it's an interview with a sex worker giving their account of an experience with Jimmy Swaggart. Just like, he's just a man. The heart of man is an orchid. The heart of man is the open gulch itself. The heart of man is the seventh gate of hell. The heart of man is the crushed horse's tail. These might just sound like lyrics to you, folks at home, but hearing them being delivered by Lingua is a totally different
power in her
experience.
Voice. You undersold exactly what was happening in that clip. Specifically, the woman is commenting on, because she's being interviewed and commenting on Jimmy Swaggart and calling out his phoniness, and going like, oh, he's up there crying and I know his tears aren't real. And the woman's like, well, how do you know? It's like, they just can't be. I mean, because he was up there preaching about all this stuff. And then turned out, and the woman interrupts and is like, couldn't his tears of repentance be real? And she says, well, maybe. And it's like, and the lady says, what? And it's like, well, to me, I don't really think so, because, you watch him on TV. I mean, I don't really watch him, but some of the things I've seen, and he's totally a different person. Like, that's the real person that he was when I saw him, just being, the person, like, being a hound dog for sex, you know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things that's like, oh, like, I'm not saying you can't be, like, possibly a man of God or whatever, what have you, but it's like this man in particular, like, this is an act. This is a fucking, you know what I'm saying, a swindle. Like, you can clearly tell. And it's like one of those things, like, the people who, it's the same thing with those white supremacists. They read this book and this made someone into a white supremacist, and it made them want to, like, kill a whole bunch of people. But then when you kind of look into it, it's like, oh, that person already had, like, kind of, seedy views about, like, Jewish people and this, that, and the third beforehand. And this book, like, verified how they had already felt. You know what I'm saying? And so it said, like, and so it's like it found its audience. And so it's like, if you don't believe, like, that bullshit, you would read that book and be like, oh, why does this guy, like, thinking like this? But it's like, if you already wanted to believe it, then it's like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, they are. And we do have to do whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like him amongst his congregation, they want to believe, like, they're basically, the YouTube audience for whoever puts out their, YouTube apology video now. Who's your boy Gus Johnson just recently, who was like,
oh God. Did he actually put out a video?
Yes! And
I'm not watching that shit.
Somebody did it. I couldn't watch it myself. I had to watch someone, like, talking about it. And
no.
And they were just breaking it down. It's just like, it's one of those things. It's like, look, I'm not saying someone can't apologize for something, but you can tell when someone honestly means it and someone's being, disingenuous or not, because they, like, really purposely leave out certain details to try to, like, make them look in the best light. You know what I'm saying?
I wanted to point out this quote about A Man is a Spring Flower, the track we were talking about here. This is a quote. It says, again, it starts off with this polyphony, which is just me, but it's so grating and abrasive that every time I listen to the song, I start laughing because I think it sounds so gross. We brought in this really, really good banjo player and had him do this compositional technique called phasing, which affects the rhythm of the song. And I just did the most miserable vocal I could muster.
That's so fascinating. I mean, like, the dissonance.
You fucking nailed it.
Yeah. Like, because there's times
if you were going for miserable, yeah, you got it.
Yeah, because it's like, she sings very well, and so you hear, like, all of these lush, beautiful harmonies, but then it'll, like, cut into this dark dissonance, and it's just like, oh, what the fuck?
Speaking of that, the very end of the song, where it just gets louder.
Oh my God, and I had to turn it down. I was like, what the fuck?
It's clipping. It's getting muddled. It's so loud. And then it just cuts off. So abrupt. And the very next thing you hear...
Very low in the mix,
interview,
by the way. Yeah.
With the CNN reporter and this woman who is in a car, or she's going to church, and the interviewer is going like, hey, you're going to church, and it's like we're in the middle of a pandemic, and she's just insisting that she will not catch COVID.
I've been
because
anointed.
she's covered in the blood of Jesus. And it is so like... And the rest of the song isn't any better. It's such... This is the sourest note you could have ended the album on. Just this. No longer shall I wander. Ugliness is my home. Loneliness, my master. I bow to him alone. I bow to him alone. Aw.
Oh, my Lord.
Guess the album's just gonna end on that, huh?
Around the time of this pandemic, I used to kind of do a bit of the side hustle of, like, singing at churches and stuff like that, trying to get a little extra cash. You know what I'm saying? Well, when this
I did not know that.
Yeah. I went to music school, I went to singing school, got my fucking singing degree,
I studied at Harvard. I walked Bob Dylan up on stage at Woodstock. Who are you?
But when this pandemic hit, like, seeing all of those churches just trying to carry on tradition as usual. It's like, oh, no, it's no big deal. Everything's fine. Like, not even trying to, like, fucking, just accept, like, just to change, like, it don't even need to be political. Just acknowledge there's something that's fucking happening. You know what I'm saying? But you know they fucking are in the back pockets and get fucking brainwashed by these fucking, you know, Republican people who don't give a fuck about them, just want to, you know, I'm just talking about like the individual people who are fooled into this shit, but the fucking preachers who know what the fuck they're doing, it's like, fuck y'all, you know? But yeah, like these breakout, and I specifically remember because I think it was in Maryland, there was a specific breakout that had happened in the church, and they officially had to be like, shut this down for now. Like, because yeah, people were still getting fucking sick, and it's so insane. Like, you know, and hearing this quote, this is from like at the beginning of the pandemic, right? That idea of, no, I've been watching the Lamb. No, I'm one of God's anointed, so it can't happen to me. No, I'm on the right team. I'm on the God team, so it can't happen to me. And then just so that's so like being thrown in their face, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, I wish I was just a fucking fly on the wall of these people. Just like, you know, to be like, oh my God, will you just listen? And first of all, it doesn't even have to be invalidating of your religion. Just goddamn listen to facts sometimes.
This is obviously a 5 for me. This falls under the category of not an everyday listen.
Right.
I can't
this
in good faith.
Required reading for the 1,000 years later school that is trying to show you about the cool ass music of 2021 and how awesome it was, and of course they're only showing you the best parts. You know, like that's what this is.
Yeah. And like, I can't in good faith give it like, oh yes, I recommend you listen to this right now because this is a very, very pained experience, but it is a very, very powerful experience, and one that I was gripped by, and it held my attention very firmly.
I go to 5 as well, yeah.
Super powerful. If you are in the right mood for something like this, or if you're just interested, like, wow, you guys really putting this over big. Yeah, I mean, as long as you know it's not going to be a fucking enjoyable listen, like, it's going to be a bummer. Mm-hmm. But musically, abso-fucking-lutely, this is an incredible album. We got to switch gears.
Oh boy, it's the biggest gear switch you could fucking make.
Oh my God, we're talking bigger gears than the gears that Charlie Chaplin fell in. Jurassic 5 Power in Numbers from 2002. We previously reviewed Quality Control.
That's true, because I remember, reviewing that one and being like, oh damn, this is the one that doesn't have you know, holding on to what's going. The song that they would always play, I remember this in the mid-2000s, whenever there was like a VH1 hip-hop adjacent thing, they would always play this song during the credits, and you know, you know how you show the credits of one thing, you know, on one small side over here, and then you see like the little video up at the top corner, and you see like the golden records going down, and then you see like, here's what's next that we're gonna like really shove in your face because we're trying to save time on ad space, you know. But yeah, like, oh my God, I remember hearing the song so fucking much and seeing this goddamn video, and they're one of those groups like in the same vein of like, you know, I feel like it's an insult to say Black Eyed Peas, but you know what I mean as soon as I say it. Like, yeah, where it's just like, oh, like, you know, underground, but, you know, kind of like a softer edged underground, you know, like
the lesser threatening, conscious.
Yeah, we're in the jazz clubs and on the West Coast, you know what I'm saying? You know,
it's interesting, right? Like, this definitely isn't. It's way less militant, but there is a song later that says, what was it? Like, put down your signs, pick up the guns, like, oh shit, okay, guess not.
But yeah, I mean, while there is definitely that, more political strain, like, a lot of it is, like, more feeling like that, you know, early 2000s, hey, backpack rap, what's the coolest thing is the old school James Brown samples and stuff, you know? So let's just have a bunch of Pete Rock instrumentation for a whole album, you know what I mean?
Now, something you had said during our quality control review,
very interesting,
was you quoted the they're bringing it back to the old school.
The old fools.
Old fools who are not so cool, you said. I'm curious if your opinion of the boys changed from that album to this, the follow-up, which is apparently part of the 1,000 albums you must hear before you die list.
Is that a fact?
It is, yes.
is cool. Like, I definitely get a
right?
more lyrical Black Eyed Peas vibe. Like, definitely not as poppy, but like, and I mean the cool version. You know, people who know, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was a time where they were like, oh, hey, here's this light thing that may not get the, you know, most popularity, but it's cool that this is like existing and like a positive, fun vibe, and might not be the most lyrical cast, but like they kind of bring a chill energy. This is like that, but way more lyrical, but not that impressive, but definitely more lyrical, you know? Like, in fact, like, I mean, the one guy, well, actually, I thought Soup was pretty good, but Charlie Tuna is just, like, such the fucking standout. Like, it's literally, like, the inverse of the Wu-Tang Clan. There's, like, six more fucking dudes, and the dude with the deepest voice is actually the most interesting one, as opposed to, you know, how it is with the Wu-Tang Clan, where, yeah, you know, you got his, I mean, he's got his own thing, but he's definitely not the one you go to first, you know, on the discography thing, you know. But like with Charlie Tuna at the end of this album, I was just like, I want to hear more of the verbal Herman Munster, goddammit.
This is the exact same thing you said during the quality control, was that Charlie Tuna was your go-to. He took a while to warm up to me, but I think that's...
They're the PG-13 Black Eyed Peas, you know what I mean? Like, that's what... Because it definitely is that more, like, chubby, silly, like, fun, like, ooh, you know, vibe to it, right, you know?
The first track I thought that really grabbed my attention was A Day at the Races, featuring Percy P and Big Daddy Kane.
Big Daddy Kane, man.
When another deadly melody, camera, action, yo, we heavy, aim steady, slash machete, Maserati, engine ready, good and plenty, don't be petty, count the fetty, and we jetty, off to another city where we do our nitty gritty. Whoa. When these guys have room and time, I think they have some really good verses.
Absolutely.
There are way too many songs on this album.
Yeah.
Where each guy gets like 4 bars onto the next guy.
Yeah.
And that doesn't give you enough time to really get anything across.
And they don't
and
work
if
together
you're like,
as tightly, as you would.
Yeah, like so there are some times where they're like building off each other's shit, and that works okay. But like on the first track, they don't really get anything substantial across because they're all trying to get these different mini ideas.
Yeah, I noticed
across.
that. And of course, Charlie Tuna had the best one with the the devil's gavel as a couple fooled, my culture screwed because this word is misconstrued. Small countries exempt from food because leaders have different views. You choose, you know, like sort of bringing up the like, hey, you know, yeah, people don't get to have this just because the people in power just decided they don't get to have it, you know, like they don't count as human, you know, like it's like, oh shit, yeah, that's a hell of a way to start off the goddamn album, that's for sure.
It was ironic on If You Only Knew, because I didn't think this song was nearly as strong as the first one.
No.
These verses were not hitting. And I said, it's ironic how corny they came off on this song, despite saying specifically in this song that they were not a corny crew.
Yeah, it's so funny.
They came off like quite the corny crew.
And like at first, like, you know, and it's okay to be like, you know, lighthearted. You know what I'm saying? But like,
yes,
there were some
Beastie Boys were lighthearted.
Yeah, cunning linguists are lighthearted. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
Yeah, but there's like some tracks where you
Ugly Duckling.
Oh. But you know, there's some. God damn you. There's. But there was so Kyle, for God's sakes, you know. But, you know, there were some parts on this album where you could totally tell, like, the softer, you know, image got to them and they tried to do a little bit, try to be a little more hardcore, you know what I'm saying? And it just felt like they just went they just dove too far in. I was like, what the fuck? You know, like, oh, this line, oh my God, this song in particular, holy God, we hit the homophobic mark, like, oh, with that buzzer way early, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I was like, and like the way it hit me was just like, oh my God, come on.
I'm confused by this, and I don't know what the fuck this is even supposed to mean.
Right? Like huh?
This didn't even hit me as a queer person. Like,
you
whoa, fuck these guys.
You're just trying to figure out what they're saying.
I was seriously just like, what? I fucking rewound this back.
That's a bad song.
Your game of charades, the way you behave, the image you save, your brother, that's one big parade. I'm sick of your ways. I'm sitting here spitting the phrase, "The next time they smile and wave will probably be with the gays."
Wow.
If you didn't say the gays, it probably wouldn't have even struck me as necessarily negative. But the way you said the gays, it's 2002,
and obviously,
and you're saying the gays,
and obviously in reference to like a parade, you know, that he's
right.
So it's just like, oh, what?
I was just like, okay, you're on notice. You are officially on notice.
No doubt.
I sure hope y'all don't fuck up again, but worse later.
The foreshadowing.
I'd be really disappointed if that were to happen.
Knowingly looks at the camera in a fit of dramatic irony.
See ya, fourth wall.
Next we got Break. It's very catchy, not very memorable.
Yeah.
Cut. There's a few of those.
Yeah, like, I thought they went fluidly in between each other's verses. Like, I thought this one worked the best, you know, with them doing that. I think Charlie Tuna, of course, had the best part, and, like, the residual flow from his parts sounded really good, but whenever it would just be them, it wouldn't be as cool, you know, like...
Remember his name. We gotta talk about this one, right?
Who?
So... I like the concept of this, okay?
Oh, you mean the song title? I thought you were saying, now remember his name. I was like, remember whose name? Oh, man, this song. And I fucking forgot what the concept was. And even just saying it now, it made me kind of like, I still had to have that second of, wait, what was the song supposed to be about again?
The first note I have is right after the song finished, I have written down, what?
Wait, what?
So it's one dude calling up another guy and being like, this shit's going down over here, and there's this guy there, but I forget his name.
Yeah, and I kind of liked how they kind of like had him messing up. Like at first, you can't hear like he's on the phone, and you hear the beat starting, so you're kind of like, wait, is the verse starting right now? Is it happening?
Like, we going?
Yeah, and so it kind of happens
it.
Delayed. I thought that was pretty cool. You know.
So you get this conversational back and forth between the guys as they're doing this whole fucking Budweiser was that kind of call. But then at the very end, because they're talking about like all these different instances, like, oh, this fucking thing went down here, and oh, I remember there was this other incident that happened here, but oh, there was always this guy that was there, and all these different incidences, and I just can't. Oh, fuck me, for the life of me, I can't. Wait, no, you know what? I got it. It's death.
Oh, and then the music switches and slows down like, oh, snap, what? Like,
it was death. Okay.
That looks like it. Turns out the evil creature that the scientists had created was man. Like, you know, what?
Oh.
This fucking Twilight Zone light song fucking concept.
And fucking Genius tried to equate the big, which again, I wasn't a big fan of that one either.
What, Common?
Yeah.
Oh.
In case you haven't noticed by now, I'm talking about hip hop. Like, yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I fucking got it. But this one's the complete opposite. I didn't get it.
I was just so bewildered. I was just like,
I was so confused.
Wait, there was a guy that was like, I thought they were trying to do it like a fucking, you know, Stephen Wright and Half Baked thing, where it's like, hey, there's a guy who just hung out in our, you know, hung out in our closet and just like crashed there. Who was that guy? Turns out he was death. I'm like, what?
It was death.
So like, I didn't think it was that deep. Like, they mentioned it, of course, Charlie Tuna has the best verse, and he like talks about some sort of like action happening, and at that point, it kind of felt like, oh, is something? Wait, what's happening there? Like, huh? But like everything else kind of felt like relatively mundane situations.
Any other conclusion would have been more interesting than that. I'm sorry, but I wasn't feeling what's golden.
Oh, hater McHatington.
This fucking whack chorus. We're not ballin'. We're taking it back to the days of yes, y'allin'. Oh. And I hate to do it. I hate to rewind this part, too. It's the verbal Herman monster. The word enhancer. Sick of phony mobsters controlling the dance floor. I was like, what rhyme scheme are you on right now, Charlie? Up until later, when they actually get longer verses, that really is the key for enjoying these guys is when they have time to actually, like, build up momentum. Most of his stuff for me was, like, kind of bumpy and, like, not really... Besides the fact that he sounded so, like, commanding in his, like, deep voice delivery, nothing else really set him apart.
Yeah, like, anytime he's on a hook, it's, like, his hook now, like...
Yeah,
he's so
this is mine now.
Yeah, it really just seems like it's him and the gang. Because the rest of them... Man, I can't tell you who's who, man. I really can't. A Zakar from a Mark 7, from a Akil, from a...
Wait a second, dude. No, fucking Akil should be the standout. Have you heard the fucking, the conspiracy about him?
What?
The conspiracy is that he is, actually Tupac.
Get the fuck out of here. What? No. Nothing lyrically that was said on this album was at any level with fucking Tupac.
There are YouTube videos about the conspiracy theory that, yeah, honestly, just because he kind of looks like him.
What? Let me watch the What's Golden video. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
That would be so funny if I just watched this video and I just went like, that is Tupac. Like, the one thing I do actually really like is, like, how it kind of plays with the time when you're listening to it. You know, like, it doesn't really, like, start on the one. It kind of, like, does this thing where it's, like, the first beat kind of goes back. You're one. So it, like, kind of throws you off as to where, like, the one is, you know, because it's so unaccented. I think that's really cool about this beat. So it's, like, even though it's, like, oh, this is a hip-hop beat, like, it's actually feeling weirdly kind of, like, experimental. Oh, this motherfucker doesn't look like Tupac in it.
If you go to Google image search and type in Akil rap or Akil and Tupac, it brings up some side-by-side pictures, and even these aren't convincing. Like, I don't know where...
He had facial reconstructive surgery.
Yeah, where are people getting this? I don't see it. We gotta go to another, in my opinion, baffling track. Thin Line, featuring your girl, Nelly Furtado.
Wow. How random. Like, I saw that name and I was like, Nelly Furtado? Like, are you sure it's not like someone with like a different name? They just misspelled it and they just like, this so gives the game away. Is like, I feel like, was this supposed to be like, you know, the underground group that's not really underground, like sort of AstroTurf sort of thing? Like, because that's what I get when I see featuring Nelly Furtado, you know, like of all the because she is the most of that time sort of like, oh, I know she's not really got like that indie sound. She doesn't really have that spirit, but it's a nice sort of sound with some of these songs, isn't it? Let's have a good time before she totally sells out when the shit isn't as lucrative by the third album.
Definitely the most 2003 feature you could get.
No doubt.
And I thought she was okay on this.
Yeah, when she does come in like halfway through the song.
Yeah, that's the thing. She gets
like,
to sing on the
chorus. That front and center. Yeah, like what the hell?
But even, she's still in the background because the guys are still rapping over her.
At first I doubted it. I was like, nah.
I was like, that's not Nelly Furtado. What's going on here?
I don't hear her on the hook, yeah.
And then finally she gets her own solo verse. It's like, oh, okay.
It's so, here's the hook, just sing this part. Like, oh my God. There's so many times that you can hear the people trying to write the song through the hook. Like, them like, listen to this delivery. It's so fucking bad. It feels so unfinished. We've been friends for a long time. A very close friend of mine. Love you like you was mine, but respect the thin line. I love you like you was mine, but think about you all the time. Very close, friend, but respect the thin line. Like the way it's so, it's so herky-jerky. It's so just like, oh, you needed to get the flow of this right. Like I can hear how this could have worked, but it's so like, let's just get this first take and we'll come back to it later. I was expecting KRS-One before Nelly Furtado, for God's sake.
We already got Big Daddy Kane. Jeez.
Yeah, and then After School Special.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What was that about?
You guys working on a new album? Yeah. Just the fucking, like, I just pictured dudes looking up and just being like,
like they're in the middle of work, and you just see a bunch of heads, like, looking up, like, huh? I'm like, yeah. Like a bunch of heads with caps on, you know what I'm saying? So you can specifically look up, like, the bills coming up as they look over, like, what?
Can I be on the new album? I don't know about that. And then from there...
Some scrub walked into the studio.
I have written down here, Charlie's verse has me scratching my head. Yo, the masked men who suppress pain like aspirin, Jurassic men, and are the best trained assassin. Your class pins get thrown in the trash bins. You leeches and you has-beens get your teeth smashed in. Hot as you keep a furnace, we keep it earnest. Poems puncture your epidermis and swell up enormous. Smoother than candles or flannel pajamas. We raid the city on camels and dismantle informers, the omen. I'm like... What are you talking about?
First of all, I just want to say, like, rhyming enormous with pajamas. Like, it's like...
And right after you rhymed enormous with epidermis, I'm like, oh, you were going somewhere.
Yeah, right.
You had me.
That's the problem with these rhymes. It is that rhyming where it's just like, I used a big word, though, so it doesn't matter that, like, half of the syllables didn't really fit. Yeah, like...
And honestly, like, aspirin, assassin, trash bins, those are
that
great.
Was actually pretty dope. Yeah, like, I don't know what he's actually talking about, but, like, it's still a good flow. Like, yeah.
And furnace and earnest, that's dope. But then you go from, epidermis, enormous, pajamas.
Yeah, and then Zorro with the oral editorial, the moral of the story, I'm professional. It's like yes, editorial and professional, right? Like, yeah, but come on, you gotta hear how that sounded a little wonky. Like,
and this one was a song that was over before I felt like it even started.
Yeah, it began. Like, I didn't even know what the concept was supposed to be. I was like, wait, it's called After School Special. Is this supposed to be? And then it just got like fucking dust in the wind, just like blew by. And I was like, oh wait, was something supposed to happen? Like, it's like a fucking zephyr of a song. Like, it just...
Yeah. For high fidelity, I actually have Soup quoted. I'll tear a competitor, pluck 'em like chicken feathers. I'm better than ever, incredible poetic editor. Dead or be better, I betcha regardless the weather. Whenever with clever endeavors, when me and 7-Eleven rapping together. I was like, woo! This was another one that was like just 3 minutes. The last track, the very last track, which is just like an instrumental with vocal samples.
Yeah, what the hell?
And it goes on for like almost 7 minutes. I was sitting there like, this production's really good. I wish more beats on the album sounded like this.
Fucking Bomb Squad level production going on at the end here, and it's like...
way more interesting than just like your old school shit.
Yes! Some of the songs... Oh my god, that was the thing! One or two of these songs, I specifically remember having the moment of like listening to the mix and being like, there's not even a bass line happening for most of this beat. Like, it would just be like the like a trumpet and the drum beat, and it's just like... maybe like a bass hit every now and then. It was just like, this feels so empty. This feels so like hollow, like just going for, look, it's old school because we did, you know, the trumpet sound. And it's just like, okay, but come on, fill it out. Like, what was that? Like, oh, I remember specifically having that feeling on High Fidelity where it was like, it was okay and like it was lyrical, but it didn't really end like in a really way that was like dope, you know? Like it ends like, it goes like, you know, some pretty good multis, right? Style pouring, we exploring, you ignoring. I'm the foreman, longshoreman, and I'm sure when you touring that you're whack and you boring. And then, blah, like trumpet blast at the end. And I was just like, I mean, it was certainly adequate, but that's not like a, bah! That's not like a, you know? That wasn't like a, like.
Some of Us is the first time I have written down the fucking Charlie fucking killed it.
Oh, Lord, incredible.
But this track overall, like... this might be the best song on the album.
And he comes back twice too, doesn't he? Yeah.
It's overall like everybody has a good showing here. I like the chorus on it too. No complaints on this one. I don't have anything quoted from it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think this is the best one. What he says in the second verse when Charlie Tuna says, yo, I'm telling you to rebel, but dude, if you stale, the tuna can tell. Either you coming to the party or you truant as hell. Politicians ain't got no problem putting you in the cell. It's like we rolled up on the snowball and threw into hell. See, some of us is looted with mail and suited to swell, but still blind like you fluent in Braille. Dude, he's so fucking nice with it. And then this next track, yeah, there's a bunch of skits on here. And then Cool Keith comes up with a... I'm going to say this, strangely coherent verse. Like...
it sounded too much like the last song.
Yeah, it was like a thing where I was like, what's going on? Like, it's from some freestyle I think he did in like 1991 or something like that. So it just got me wondering, like, what is it doing here? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's a 42-second a cappella interlude. That's how you got Cool Keith. Like, what? Can you even really say it? It's like, oh yeah, we got Cool Keith on the album.
It literally feels like the ultimate thing of, look, underground rapper, from the old school, and we got that means we're respected rappers now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's just like, why is he here? Did he put these guys on? That doesn't seem right though. Like, that doesn't seem like that tracks. Like, Cool Keith put on Jurassic 5. That didn't feel right. That didn't feel like that shakes out in the story. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but it just felt like out of nowhere. It was just like, all right, if like Eazy-E was like, had a like vocal track or an extra skit where he's rapping on a Bone Thugs and Harmony song, like that makes sense. You know what I mean? But it's just like, where is this coming from? What does Cool Keith have in connection with these guys? Like, what's the difference between this guy rapping on here and fucking Dana Dane rapping on this track? You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's someone from fucking Kwame with them fucking polka dots. Oh, that's from the old school. Let's get him on here. Tic-Tac-Toe, whoever did that song, Kuiper or whatever the fuck. Oh, look, it's from the old school. Let's get him on here. The dude who did the fucking, I'm a squirrel trying to get a nut to move your butt. Oh, you can do a duet with the verbal Herman Munster on here. Look, it's respectable just because it's old school. Just because it's from a rapper from 1991. I mean, that's it, right? You just need rapper from the old school and now we're respected. Like, it just felt so out of the nowhere, like.
But I guess they felt that Some of Us was such a good song and they knew it, that they decided to follow it up with a pointless interlude and the hands down worst song on the album.
Oh, you one of them niggas. Oh, my Lord. And this was one of those songs where I thought I could have enjoyed. It kind of reminded me of that feeling of like D12's, that's how people get fucked up. Like a sort of like, after 3 lines, this is the thing that comes back, that kind of But it's so whack. And this is the trying to be hardcore and dipping once more into the homophobia where it's just like, first of all, it's just not cool. But second of all, it's like, this ain't even fucking you. Like, don't even, bro. Like, it's not cool when DMX does it either, right? But like, you were just like, you are so, like, this is like if fucking, the nerd, you know what I'm saying, tried to come in and it's like, I'm doing my cool thing, and then it starts bombing, and then it's like, well, at least I'm homophobic, right? I'm cool with you guys too, right? Because I'm against the gay people at least, am I right? It's just like, like, don't even, like, like.
Yeah, I don't know where this came from. This track was very regrettable.
Trying to call out the soft rappers. The verbal Herman Munster wants to call out the soft rappers.
Hey is fun enough.
Hey is a dope ass track. Hey is a track that I could be like, oh, if I went to a cool ass respectable party in DC where we're playing some old school hip hop, and it's hey, late 20s and older crowd for this joint, and we're playing a little cool hip hop, a little Tribe Called Quest, a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, getting in your eardrums, a little mellow Jurassic 5 playing Hey, like. Oh my! And I love the part with the way it's so lazily done. Just the hey.
Yeah, I like that.
I wanted there to be a third one every time, just so it could be like the hey, like even later than the second. You know what I mean? Because like the way they're singing is already kind of off the beat, and it's so fun to hear it. Like hey, it's so fun.
Overall, I walked away with a 3.5.
Yeah, me too. Same here, 3.5. They have spots and moments of like really good parts, but it never amalgamates to something to write home about, at the end of the day. That's what sucks, like the potential of the fact that you hear that they're obviously good, but they're never able to make like songs in a row where it's just unfettered quality. You know what I mean? Like there's always just so much of like, what was, that's hard, a little herky-jerky and this and the third. Like, the best example is that part that I met you for a long time, a really good friend of mine, with a line, a reads back to then line. Like, it's just so like, come on, that doesn't sound good. Like,
I feel like if you were having a conversation about, like, best hip-hop, like, groups, and someone were to say, what about Jurassic 5? Someone would go, oh, yeah.
Right, yeah.
But wouldn't, like, actually consider them. Like, oh, yeah. Like, I forgot about them.
Yeah, you would be the, it would be that. It wouldn't be like the, oh, damn it, how did I forget? It would be like the, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
Like, how many groups are there? Like,
there is some definite strengths, for sure. It's just, I don't know. There's too many dudes with kind of like mediocre bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, way too many cooks, for sure.
Like, the Wu-Tang Clan, this ain't. Like, if you listen to the Wu-Tang Clan, you might not get everybody, but you can definitely tell the genius from Ghostface Killah from Old Dirty Bastard. You know, like, that's 3 off the top where you'd be like, oh yeah, if I hear the genius rapping in the dark web like this with the deeper voice, and then if I hear Ghostface Killah, and then I hear Old Dirty Bastard, like, that's immediately 3 different people, you know, like...
I just said, yeah, there's just too many guys. And there's like 5, 6 guys. Meanwhile,
yeah, there's only 6.
Like, Wu-Tang has way more. And I'm like, oh shit, I guess that doesn't really work.
Yeah, there's 8. Well, technically 9. Well, technically 10.
Oh, God, yeah. But that about does it for this week's episode of Going Off. If there is an album that you would like to request for us to review on the show, head on over to our Ko-fi. That is ko-fi.com/goinoff. That's GOINOFF. You can follow us both on Twitter. We both have our own individual YouTube channels.
Ooh, and I just opened my TikTok. I just made a TikTok account where I'm actually going to be uploading my favorite clips from Rap Critic episodes. Rap Critic episodes past. Because I'm just like, this is just funny. I just want to clip this all together and have my best bits in one place. And of course, patreon.com/rapcritic, where I'm still continuing my, trying to get the $1,500 goal. And now that I've done filming the latest episode, I'm going to actually be now taking some time to hang out with the fans, play some video games, watch some movies, and you can join in on the fun. And on the patreon.com/rapcritic, you get to see episodes early and exclusive episodes of my review new podcast, like I said, and as well as the RC Patreon joining and talking with me and fellow fans about music and all that shit. Get with it, act like you want it. Oh yeah, and also request songs or album streams or movie reviews on my Ko-fi, my specific Ko-fi, ko-fi.com /rapcritic. That's the one specifically for that. The album requests are specifically for Ko-fi, for the Going Off Ko-fi, just to make that distinction.
And I mentioned the Kids Bop shit over on our fan house. That is fanhouse.app/riffcoms. I've been posting 2 Kids Bop song reaction videos daily, in an effort to, having had listened to almost 900 of them, ultimately ranking which are the definitive best and definitive worst 10 or more of the entire discography. That is 2 exclusive videos being posted every day. So already there's over 100 videos on there that you can't see anywhere else. And they're just going to keep getting posted for the foreseeable future. So get on there. There's some really, 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 really bad ones. Some surprisingly decent ones. You never know when those are going to come up. I just have a playlist of every single Kids Bop song ever put out, and I just have it on shuffle, and I just hit play. And it's like, all right, that's what we're listening to today, and that's just it. And I just let it play. And you see my genuine first reactions to the song, and if it's good, it's good. And I'm going to be honest, sometimes they're better than the originals, I dare say. It happens. So head on over to fanhouse.app/riffcoms. Seeing is believing. If you are listening to us on Spotify, please give us a star rating, preferably a 5. Well, we'll be taking next week off, but we'll be back the week after that, hopefully. And probably be back with more requests, unless something stellar surprisingly drops. Who knows? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But until then, for Going Off, I'm Muse.
And I'm Rap Critic, and hey, you listening to this podcast. I had 10,000 copies of this podcast made, and they're all perfect, except for yours.